Today we answer the age-old question, can one silverback gorilla beat 100 WWE superstars? That's right, that's right.
The average silverback gorilla is actually 5 to 10 times stronger than us humans.
We here at Wrestlechop, we ask the real questions. And while all the other wrestling YouTubers, you can book Backlash, but I'm booking a gorilla fight.
400-pound animal that can grow up to 6 feet tall.
And unfortunately though, even if the gorilla wins, well, there is no interspecies title, but there is this world title that you, the viewer, can win. All you gotta do is comment below. I'm serious, I'm gonna give away this belt at 20,000 subscribers. Already gave away 2, and now I'm giving away a 3rd. Every 10,000 subscribers, I give away a belt. So how do you win? You gotta comment below, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell notification, ding, 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 ding. And don't forget to like the video as well. Trying to quit the day job so I can produce more videos about wrestlers fighting animals, I guess. That's what we do now. Maybe this will be a whole series. 100 wrestlers versus a blue whale. I'm sorry, no, I promise I won't do that. Just like this video, please. So first off, we have the gorilla. 500 pounds, 10 times stronger than a normal human being gorilla, and we have 100 WWE employees I can pick from. First off, we're starting off with actually Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman is going to be one of the 100. Now, he's not going to fight at all. He's going to be the leader, basically, of everything, calling the shots. He's going to be able to determine when somebody needs to be pulled from the battlefield or whatever. So Paul Heyman is your overall general. Now, he will have 4 generals under him that he can trust out on the field, and those are going to be Roman Reigns, Seth freaking Rollins, Gunther, and Karrion Kross. So those are his generals on the field, and each of these guys, they have their own units. Gunther has like the beefy man meat unit. These are people that will consist of Gunther, Otis, Braun Breaker here, Sheamus, Braun Strowman, Rusev, Omos, Elijah Holyfield. If you don't know who he is, he's on LFG. We can pick from anywhere under the employee of WWE here. TNA is also viable because of the working relationship they have with WWE right now. And then the ace in the hole, the secret weapon, Brock Lesnar. Now, we're not sending everybody out because if you sent all 99 to 100 people out all at once, well, honestly, it would actually help the gorilla more for all 100 people to rush them. A lot of them would just trip over each other trying to get at the gorilla, and that's what Paul Heyman knows, so he's holding people back on purpose, and we're gonna have to have a strategy to beat this gorilla, because make no mistake about it, it's still gonna be hard. You think 100 dudes? Well, no, this is a freaking gorilla, okay? Then we have the bloodline. It's Roman and just his bloodline. I'm keeping Roman very simple. It's his family, the people that he trusts the most, because I will say this, when it comes to family, you can get superhuman powers trying to protect the ones you love. So Roman's bloodline is going to be Roman, Jay, Jimmy, Solo, Sammy, Tama Tonga, Tungaloa, Jacob Fatu, Hikuleo, Lance, and Hawaii. And they will come out at intervals, and I'll explain how it will happen. And we're going to have lone wolves. Lone wolves are people who I don't feel are going to be led properly. They're too much of an individual, not team player. So instead of trying to force them into a team, they're just going to be on the battlefield and they can attack whenever they see an opening. Maybe some of them will be on the selfish side and they won't want to really get involved, but they also know that if they're the one that gets to deal the kill blow, the death shot, they would have so much fame and adulations that it's like definitely worth it for them to eventually get in and pick their spot. So we got our lone wolves of LA Knight, yeah, Logan Paul, The New Day, Ethan Page, CM Punk, Ricky Saints, and Shinsuke Nakamura. So they're like the wild cards. We got a big group of tag teams. They're like the 3rd wave of attack, but we'll talk about them in a little bit. And then we have our final line of attack. When it's all said and done, it's literally like everybody has been defeated and we have 9 people left standing to go after the gorilla. And we also have a hype crew. We have Trick Williams, Jey Uso. Jey Uso will start in the hype crew, but if Roman Reigns actually has to take the field, Jey will then enter the bloodline. But we got R-Truth and
his name and he appears.
Joe Hendry. Oh, and Elijah, who was Walk with Elias in WWE. These 5 people right here, their sole purpose during most of the fight is to hype up the crowd. Because a silverback gorilla, the goal is to wear him down. You can't just go fist to fist with a silverback gorilla. Even Brock Lesnar couldn't do that. He's gonna have a burst of just adrenaline and speed. But the thing is, if this hype crew can keep everybody like cheering and going crazy, like the people who are not attacking, if we can get the people who are not attacking to make a lot of noise, right, that will get the gorilla. And pause, just for like, I know this is like kind of morbid, this whole thing. Like, I do not condone violence against animals. Please just know that, right? Okay, so back it up. So the goal is for the hype crew to keep the gorilla off balance by everybody cheering, yeeting, clapping, singing Joe Hendry's name, his song, and everything, just to keep that adrenaline going so the gorilla crashes out sooner. So now that you know some of the groups in play here, let's get started. We have the gorilla in the middle. We have all of our people kind of start surrounding, right, the gorilla, but they're very far away because we don't want the gorilla to fully attack. And then we're going to send in Goldberg. Goldberg is going to go in by himself and get destroyed by the gorilla. Darn it, Goldberg. Oh man, really thought that maybe he could do it. He squashed so many people in his career. I just thought maybe he could beat the gorilla by himself. Oh well. Okay, so now that Goldberg's out of play, we're down to 99 people. And so next we're going to send in the Wyatt Six. The Wyatt Six are like crazy people. And what the Wyatt Six are going to do, they're not going to fully attack. The Wyatt Six is to kind of keep the gorilla off balance, because we need psychos to do this. We need crazy people to be willing to get within the arm reach of the gorilla, but not actually engage. And we need to keep the gorilla off balance because Gunther is sending in some of his beefy man meat. He's sending in Otis, Elijah Holyfield, Omos, and Sheamus. He's sending those 4 in to start the attack. We have the Wyatt Six kind of on the outside of the gorilla. We have the really big 4 guys coming in, and that's when the first round of, I hate to say cannon fodder, but these are going to be the first round of people that will probably take the most damage, because the big dudes are kind of like, they're heavy, so it's going to take them a minute to get to the gorilla. So we're going to bum rush the gorilla right now, and those people are going to be Moose from TNA, Drake Mordix, he's from LFG, pretty deadly. They might try to distract with some of their flashiness, but for the most part, they're just going in on the attack. Ridge Holland, Sean Spears, Shiloh Hill, Tony D'Angelo, and Tony Yearwood. The ones that you might not know are going to be kind of in your first round of attack. This is when the gorilla is going to be at his peak performance. This is when he's going to be at his strongest, because he's like, suddenly he's being attacked. By the time those guys are probably injured, we have now Sheamus coming in with the bro kick. We got Omos there. We have Otis and Elijah Holyfield. They're on the attack. While they're attacking, we're sending in another wave, and this time it's about 20 people. While this is happening, you have the tag team division studying everything, because the tag team division is going to work as, like a tag team, a pairing, and they need to study and watch and gauge how the gorilla is fighting, while Paul Heyman and Seth Rollins and Gunther are looking for weaknesses. Is there an injury? Is the gorilla left-handed? I have no idea. So this line of defense is Karrion Kross's main crew. Karrion Kross has been hyping them up this whole time. He's been saying how, listen guys, nobody thinks that you're going to survive this, right? And some of you aren't, but those of you who do, well, think about the paycheck that is going to be there. Think about the fact that if you win, if you survive this gorilla, if we take out the gorilla now before even Brock Lesnar gets in the fight, well, that's like, we're guaranteed our main events in WrestleMania. So Karrion Kross is kind of like, he is really getting them motivated, and then he goes in for the attack. These people are Karrion Kross, The Miz, Finn Balor, Carlito, AJ Styles, Apollo Crews, Andrade, Aleister Black, Mello, JD McDonough, who I feel like will low-key survive this whole thing because this dude is like a warrior. He's the guy that hit his head on the announce table.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm serious about this. Somebody's got to check McDonough after that.
Punctured ribs and kept going. Devon Evans, Lexis King, Ludwig Kaiser, Jasper Troy from LFG, Ilya Dragunov, and Austin Theory. Austin Theory's like, this is my chance to redeem myself. I've been falling so down the card. Now, two people that are not on this list at all, I did not put Dominic Mysterio in here. I did not put Grayson Waller. Those guys are like straight up cowards. I feel they couldn't even be on the lone wolf category. I feel they would just never get involved. I also didn't put Kevin Owen in this fight because I don't know if he's ever coming back from that neck injury, unfortunately. So anyways, you got these, 16 people. Now they're attacking, they're swarming, and probably at this point, there's no more need for a hype crew. But now there's really no one left to cheer because Roman Reigns isn't going to be cheering, really. He's watching this whole thing, waiting, plotting. So he's not having his bloodline use up energy to like try to just yell and scream. So Trick Williams and R-Truth can now get involved in this. Jey Uso will go to the bloodline. Joe Hendry and Elijah still have a purpose. They're actually going to go with Gunther. And that's a weird pairing, I know. So now this is where the gorilla is going to start to really tire out. This is when Gunther sends in Rusev, Braun Breaker, and Braun Strowman. Those three are going to rush in. They're going to rush in while Gunther and Brock Lesnar, they're going to walk in. They're walking in side by side, and these five people are going to go on head first against the gorilla. At this point, the Wyatt Six is to attack as well as the big men charge in. Now, Joe Hendry and Elijah will replace the Wyatt Six as the people that are distracting. I think those two can really distract, and now it's the big men versus the gorilla, and we're going to see where we're at. At this point, there's a chance that the gorilla is spent, and Brock Lesnar and Gunther could take the gorilla out. Unless the gorilla gets a sleeper hold on Gunther, then he'll tap out in like 2 seconds. But if not, at some point, Paul Heyman will give the orders to send in the tag team division. He sends in the Dark State, American Made. Now, it's only going to be 3 members of American Made. I didn't want to risk Chad Gable being sick, so it's just going to be the Creed brothers and Grande Americano. Then we're going to have Legado del Fantasma and the LWO. And LWO will consist of Rey Mysterio and Hat Guy, No Hat Guy, plus Dragon Lee. And they are going to attack. They're going to bop and weave, and this will hopefully, while the tag team division's keeping the gorilla off balance, we still have some of our big, meaty men going at it. And before we lose almost everybody in these factions, we're going to send in the second wave. It's about 5 minutes of fighting before we send in another wave of Hank and Tank, DIY, and Fraxium. And then we do another 5 minutes. We send in the Motor City Machine Guns, Street Profits. Lucha Brothers are also going to be here, and the War Raiders. The War Raiders are key here. Now, when it comes to watching the War Raiders on Monday Night Raw, they bore me. But when it comes to watching the War Raiders fight a gorilla, I think of all the tag teams, they'll be the tag team that could take up their big dudes. And so now all the tag teams are fighting. Hopefully Gunther and Brock Lesnar are still with it, and we're going at it. I think at this point, I think the gorilla is done and spent. If the gorilla has made it this far, then comes the bloodline. The bloodline attack. Solo Sikoa will lead his bloodline in, but they'll just be like 30 seconds ahead of Roman's bloodline. So it's Solo Sikoa, Tunga Loa, who could probably honestly do it by himself. Will probably have to tie one of his hands behind his back to make it a fair fight. Tama Tunga, and then Jacob Fatu. Jacob Fatu also probably by himself could do it. I mean, heck, he's not Godzilla, he's not King Kong, he's both.
Fatu!
Lance Anoa'i and Hikuleo will go with Solo Sikoa's team, while Roman, Jay, Jimmy, Solo's already up there, and Sammy, they go in on the attack. And Superman Punch, Spear, the Bloodline, I think the Bloodline got it. I think at this point, if that gorilla is still up and running, the Bloodline have it. If the Lone Wolves haven't fully been eradicated yet, they need to attack also with the Bloodline. It's like, everybody go, go, go. It's like, this is now or never. And now we have the final line of attack, and that's gonna be Damian Priest, Seth freaking Rollins, who is leading everything, Drew McIntyre, Randy Orton, John Cena, Cody Rhodes, and Oba Femi, Bronson Reed, and coming out of retirement, Mark freaking Henry. Hall of Pain, Mark Henry, because I don't care how old that dude is. That guy, he bends quarters.
I came in the locker room one time and Mark was hunched over. I said, "Are you all right, man?" And he goes, "Yeah, I'm trying to tear a quarter and all I can do is bend it." And he had bent a freaking quarter with his fingers.
I think he has one last fight in him, and he's going to go out fighting a silverback, and those are your last guys going in. I'm telling you, the Gorilla's done. I think the Gorilla was done before the Bloodline got in there, but, like, it's done. I'm sorry. Gorilla.
Just put the fries in the bag, bro. You washed.
You needed a tag team partner to fight the superstars of WWE. Now, other than Goldberg, everybody survived. The Gorilla survived, 99 of the people survived, and Goldberg got his retirement match. So, win, win, win. So, boys and girls, what did you think of my booking of 100 WWE superstars versus a silverback gorilla? And if there's somebody who counts all of the 100 and I did it wrong, I miscounted, well then we will either take out Elijah and R-Truth if I'm over, or we will add the Hardy Boys if I'm under. Like I said, we ask the real questions here at Wrestlechop. Have a great day.